Kuf Lamed Amud Beis, who begin Kuf Lamed Amud Aleph, 2 lines from the bottom at the 2 dots. Amr Rav Abba Bar Rav Ada Amr Rav Yitzchak Pamachas Shach V'Leivi Ismael Me'er Shabbos. There was a time, there was a Maisa when they forgot to bring the Ismael for the Milah. From before Shabbos, they view Shabbos, Derech Gagas, with Derech Chatzeres. And they brought it on Shabbos, they brought it by the way of adjoining rooftops and courtyards. Shalai B'Ritzayin Rabbi Eliezer. And that was not B'Ritzayin Rabbi Eliezer. Rabbi Eliezer was not happy with that. Maskil Rabbi Yosef, what do you mean? Shalai B'Ritzayin Rabbi Eliezer. Not B'Ritzayin Rabbi Eliezer. Adarab, Rabbi Eliezer, who is showing? Rabbi Eliezer is the one who's matir machshirei milah to be doicha Shabbos. So what do you mean is Shaloi B'Ritzayin Rabbi Eliezer? Maybe you'll say the pshat is Shaloi B'Ritzayin Rabbi Eliezer the shorei afil Rishus Rabim. Maybe you'll say the pshat is it's Shaloi B'Ritzayin Rabbi Eliezer because he was matir even derech Rishus Rabim. And therefore here they took it not through the Rishus Rabim, they did it by way of rooftops and courtyards and chatzeres. According to Rabbi Eliezer, they should have taken it directly through the Rishus Rabim. So maybe you'll say Shaloi B'Ritzayin Rabbi Eliezer Shor Afil Rishus Rabim El B'Ritzayin Rabbanan D'Asur Derech Rishus Rabim, but it's B'Ritzayin the Chachamim who say Derech Rishus Rabim. It's also you can't do a derais. You can't be over a derais of Ramachshir Mitzvah Milah, but perhaps you'll say that the Rabbanan will be matir Isser D'Rabbanan, and therefore they allowed carrying it derech the Chatzeres and the Gagos. The shore of derech Gagos derech Chatzeres, the Karpives, and the open area places which are closed not for residential purposes. That they were matir this D'Rabbanan. Frankly, Gemara Mishari, is that true? With a Rabbanan even matir and Yisr D'Rabbanan for Machshirei Milah. V'altanya Keshem Shein Levim Oisad Derech Rishus Rabim Kach Ein Mevyin Oisoloi Derech Gagas Oloi Derech Karpipas Oloi Derech Chatzeres. They Rabbanan were not matir the Rabbanan in Yisr D'Rabbanan either. They weren't matir Derech the rooftops, Chatzeres, or the Karpipas enclosed areas, not hukaf ladira, not for residential purposes. So what do you mean it's Shaloi B'Ritzayin Rabbi Eliezer? Taisus asks a question that we're saying that it's not B'Ritzayin Rabbi Eliezer, Shaloi B'Ritzayin Rabbi Eliezer, because he would be matir even Rishus Rabim. He's matir even Rishus Rabim, and here they weren't matir it derech Rishus Rabim. They didn't carry it derech Rishus Rabim. It's only derech Gagas v'Chatzeres. In fact, Taisus, we have a klal, a principle, is that if you have, even though we say that an essay is derech loisasem, but imeshel l'kaim shneim, then you mekayim shneim. So even over here, where we say that the mitzvah of milah is derech Shabbos, and similarly, according to Rabbi Eliezer, machshir and milah is derech Shabbos, but it's actually l'kaim shneim. Why should you take it through the Rishus Rabim if you don't have to be over the Deraisa? Why would Rabbi Eliezer say take it dafka derech the Rishus Rabim and not derech the Gagas and the Chatzeres? Why not avoid the Issur Deraisa? Why not apply the principle that it's actually Kaim Shneim? Taisus Rosh answers in a similar way that we saw in Taisus himself in Amud Aleph, that Rabbi Eliezer holds that the mitzvah of Milah as Doicha Shabbos, Machshir and Doicha Shabbos, and even to be Memayer, to do the mitzvah more quickly, we would also be Doicha Shabbos. So if you would have to take it derech the Gagas and the Chatzeres, it'll be a detour, a long circuitous route. Rather take it directly and quickly derech the Rishus Rabim. So Rabbi Eliezer would say, don't take the long route, take the short route and do the mitzvah quicker. Some Sefer has a different approach. He says, where do we say that we say Meshel L'Kaim Shneim, that you're L'Kaim Shneim, that we say Esei Derech Loisal, say it's only when it's Ef L'Kaim Shneim, but if it's Ef L'Kaim Shneim, you're not Doicha. That's where it's a Dechiyah, where you're Doicha, like in Esei Doicha Loisal, say something where we're Doicha, it pushes it away. But he says, perhaps the pshat over here is that Mila on Shabbos is Hutra. It's not Techuya, it's Hutra. There's no Isser, the Isser doesn't exist. So over here, if it's Hutra, then we don't say that it's Efshel L'Kaim Shneim or L'Kaim Shneim. The Isser doesn't exist, it's Hutra. Akolpanim and the Gemara was saying that this is Shaloi Baratz and Rabbi Lezer, that they took it through the roofs and the courtyards and the Chatzeros. So if it's not Baratz and Rabbi Lezer, well, it's certainly not Baratz and the Chachamim. The Chacham say it's also to carry it completely, not Derech Rishus Harabim and not Derech the Chatzeros and the Gagas. So what does it mean? Elam Ravashi says Shaloi Baratz and Rabbi Lezer Machal Kaisa. What it means is this was not Baratz and Rabbi Lezer, and not Baratz and Machal Kaisa, the ones who argue with Rabbi Lezer. It was not Baratz and Rabbi Lezer because Rabbi Lezer said that you should have taken it the quick route, Derech the Rishus Harabim. And it's not Baratz and the Chachamim, the Bar Plukta of Rabbi Lezer, it's not Baratz and Chachamim because the Chachamim say you can't carry it at all. It should not have been carried. Ella Baratzayin Rabbi Shimon. It's Baratzayin Rabbi Shimon. It's not Rabbi Shimon Oimer Echad Gaga Echad Karpipa Echad Serois. Rabbi Shimon holds that all of these areas, and the rooftops, the Karpipa, the Chatzeros, Kulam Rishus Echad Hein, the Kelim Sheshav Sabasaychan, Veloy the Kelim Sheshav Sabasaychan Bias. He holds that if the Keli was there, Kli was there on the onset of Shabbos. So from before Shabbos, it was a Kli that was not in a house. It was somewhere in a Chatzer. Or it was on a rooftop, or in a carpet. He said any adjoining area, these are all considered one adjoining area. It's all considered one area. So one can carry from one to the other. There's no requirement of an Eruv to carry from one to the other. Where do we say there's a requirement for an Eruv? That's if there is a Kli in the house. So when Shabbos came in, it was in the house. The next on Shabbos, you cannot carry it from the house to a chotzer, from a chotzer to a house, or from a house to a carpet, etc. But he says that Rav Shimon holds that all of these areas themselves are considered one, and no area is required. So just like in a chotzer, if there was a kli that was munach in the chotzer when Shabbos came in, it was not in the house. You can carry it within the chotzer. Similarly, Rabbi Shimon holds you can carry it from a chaser to a carpet, from a chaser to a gag, or from a gag to a carpet. They're all considered one area. So therefore, fundamentally, Rabbi Shimon holds not like Rabbi Lezer. He holds like the Chachamim. That Machshira Mitzvah, the Machshira Milah are not Doich Shabbos. But he holds there's no Dechi over here. There's no Isser over here because this is all considered to be one area. Why my Rabbi Zermi Rabbi Asi asked the following question: if there was no shituf in a mavu, ma'u letaltel b'kavod, can you carry in the mavu if there's no shituf? So just like we said in a chotzer, just like we were saying that if there's a kli that was in the chotzer on the onset of Shabbos, it was not in the house. You can carry it within that chotzer. Now in a mavu, so this is a side street, or an alleyway or side street, so it's enclosed. Now, where it's open to on one end, if it's a mavoi that's also on one end, it's open to the Rishus Harabim. You need a lechir kaira in order to carry into the mavoi. But additionally, you also need for the mavoi, you also need similarly in a similar way that we have by the chatzah that you need erev chatzeros. Similarly, by the mavoi, you need to have an erev, which is called shituf mavois, which is similar to the erev chatzeros. There are differences in the halacha, but you have to place this erev in one of the chatzeros of the mavoi that open up into the mavoi. Now, in order to carry from a house or to carry from a chatzer to the mavoi, you need shituf mavois. His shaila is that can you carry from one end of the mavoi to the other without the shituf? Just like we say in the chatzer, you need an erev, you need erev chatzeros. They have to join together with pas in order to carry from a house to the chatzer. But to carry within the chatzer, Kalim that were in the Chatzar on the onset of Shabbos, you can carry in without an Erev. Do we say the same thing by a Movi? You need the Shituf, you need the Erev, the Shituf Muvu is to carry from the Chatzar to the Movi, but to carry from one end of the Movi to the other end of the Movi, Kalim that were on the Movi itself, in the street itself, can you carry without the Shituf? Do we say that the Movi is like a Chatzar? Just like in the Chatzar, even without an Erev, you can carry within the Chatzar Kalim that Shavsu b'Seich Chatzar that were in the Chatzar on the outside of Shabbos. Hainami here as well. Do we say the same thing over here, that even though there's no shituf you can carry within the whole area? Or maybe it's not compared to the Chatzar. The Chatzar is le'arba mechitzas because the Chatzar is totally enclosed. It's enclosed with mechitzas on all four sides. Less le'arba mechitzas, but here it's not totally enclosed. It's open to the Rishus HaRabbi. Inami Chatzar is le'diurin. Inami alternatively Chatzar, people live in there. That's part of where it serves the residences, and they use it. They use it as a dira, less diurin. But the Mavoi is not used that way. It's just a street. It's not used for residential purposes. He was quiet and he didn't answer. But another time he found him, and he found Ravasi sitting, and Ravasi said at that time, Amar Rabbi Shimon ben Lakish Mishum of Yehuda Nesiyah. He said, he said that one time there was a Maisa, and they didn't bring the Ismail the night for the meal up from before Shabbos. And they brought it on Shabbos. And it was very difficult. It was kashal chacham. Why say him Lezer? How can they abandon the Chachamim? How can they not follow the Shita Chachamim? How can they hold and follow the Shita like Rabbi Eliezer? Why is that kosher? Chada the Rabbi Eliezer Shemusi. First of all, Rabbi Eliezer, he was put in the Chayam. There's a famous Maisa with the Tanur Shah Achanoi that he refused to listen to the psak of the Chachamim, and he was put in the Cherem. So how can they follow the Shita of Rabbi Eliezer? But Yachaz Rabim, halach l'kirabim. And secondly, Yachaz Rabim, halach l'kirabim. So how can you follow Adas Yachid? And how could they carry over here in the Movi and carry and following the Shita of Rabbi Eliezer? V'amar Rabbi Yeshia. See, this is Rabbi Yehuda. He said, I asked Rabbi Yehuda, the Moyal, V'amar, and he said, what was the Maisa? Movi Shalin Ishtathu. The case over there was a Movi where there was no Shita. And the knife was in the Movi on the onset of Shabbos. It was in the Movi. And they brought it from one end to the other. So they didn't follow the Shita of Rabbi Eliezer. They were following the Shita of the Chachamim. But there was no Isser of carrying in such a case. There was no Isser of carrying because the knife was there on the onset of Shabbos in the Movi. And they did not bring it from the Chatzar to the Mavi. They brought it from one end to the other end. Amar Alei, Rav Zera said to Ravasi, Sfir Ledamar. So he said, do you hold Mavi Shlein Ishtatfu Boy Mutal Talta Kulo? So apparently you hold that a Mavi that Shlein Ishtatfu, there was no Shita, if you can carry from one end to the other. Vamalein. And he said, yes, I hold that way. So therefore, this was not the Shita of Rabbi Eliezer, there was a Shita of Chachamim. Amar later of Zera said to him, to Ravasi, but I asked from you before this, Amar le'achim, you didn't answer me that. You didn't tell me that. Dilma aga shitvach roid la gemara. Maybe in the course of your learning, then you remembered that this halach over here, it came back to you. Amar le'in, he said, yes, aga shitva roid la gemara. Through the flow of my learning, I remembered it came back to me. Itmar Amar V'Zera Amara Movish Lenishtat V'Boy Ein Metalton LeBarba Amos. This is a movi that there's no shituf. You can be metaltal only arba amos. You can't carry more than arba amos. There is an isser of carrying, so it's limited to within Dalit Amos. Amar Abaya, Hamil Samar V'Zerv'Loi Pirsha. He said this, but he didn't explain it. He didn't qualify it. The answer, Rav Baravu or Pirsha, he explained it. The Amar Rav Nachman, Amar Baravu, Amar Rav. He said, Mamishal Nishtat V'Boy. He said, he qualified, he said, if there's no shituv, Erev Chatzeres im Batim, if the Chatzeres made an Erev. If there's an Erev Chatzeres, the houses with the Chatzer, if they made an Erev, Ein Metalton Loyal Barabas, then you can only carry Barabas. Lo Erev Chatzeres im Batim, but if there's no Erev in the Chatzeres, there's no Erev with the houses, Mutal Talta Bakula, then you can carry more than Dalit Amos. There's no restriction. Then in that case, there's no restriction. So the Gemara now will continue. We'll see, Be'ez Hashem, the next year. The Gemara will continue to explain why is that a shlit. Why does it make a difference if there's an Erev Chatzeres or not?